Hi children, how's it going? How was the question answers? I'm sure it benefited you. So today we start with Act 1, Scene 2, and the scene moves to Rome, a public place. Please remember that the earlier scene was Rome, a street. Now here we come to Rome, a public place. So let's start. Enter in procession Caesar, Antony, ready for the course, California, Portia, Decius, Cicero, Brutus, Cassius, and Casca, followed by a crowd of citizens. And a soothsayer. Who is a soothsayer? A soothsayer is a fortune teller, and you will remember he is a fortune teller who is not only he had certain powers, and he was considered as good as the prophets of the olden times, of the old. Okay. Caesar. California, Casca. Peace ho, Caesar speaks. Caesar. California. Here, my lord, stand you directly in Antonius's way, when he doth run his course. Now, who was Antonius? Antonius is Mark Antony. Now, Antonius he was the son of Julia. Julia was the sister of Julius Caesar, and Antony was also a consul with Caesar in 44 BC. He was also a Luperci. A Luperci means one of the priests of God Lupercus. And who is Lupercus? You will remember Lupercus is the protector of the flocks and herds, and he was also the god of fertility. So, who is Antonius? There are 4 points to remember in Antonius. First of all, of course, he was very faithful to Caesar. That is the biggest quality he had. And apart from that, he was the son of Julia, who was Caesar's sister. Then he was a consul with Caesar in 44 BC. Then he was also a priest. That means he was called as a Luperci. He was a priest of the god Lupercus. And Lupercus, who is Lupercus? Lupercus is the protector of flocks and herds, and he was also the god of fertility. So that much. Now, Caesar, my lord, here, my lord, stand you directly in Antonius's way, when he doth run his course. So, Caesar is telling California is his wife, and Caesar is telling him that stand you directly in Antonius's way, when he doth run his course. Now, what do you mean by course? The course is, this was on the feast of Lupercal. You read at the text, your textbook note has been given over there. On the feast of Lupercal, young men ran through the city and touched the spectators with leather straps. From here, you can add one more point which I've got for you all. This was known as the course. This act was a symbolic purification of the land, and touching persons with them was an act of purifying them. You can add this much. It was also believed that a barren woman so touched would be cured of their infertility. Now, I want you all to add one more line over here, that this act, you will remember I've told you earlier also, that this act was banned at the end of the 5th century. Okay. So, Antony. Caesar, my lord, forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch California, for our elders say, the barren touched in this holy chase shakes off their sterile curse. That means the barren who is touched in this holy chase, she will lose her infertility. And what I want you all to notice over here is, see, Caesar, even though he's such a big king and he's so powerful, yet he has so much trust in what his ancestors have said. Mark the words that he says over here. To touch California, for our elders say. Elders here means his ancestors. So how much they believe in their roots. Antony. I shall remember. When Caesar says, do this, it is performed. Set on, and leave no ceremony out. Soothsayer. Soothsayer says, Caesar. Ha! Who calls? Casca. Bid every noise be still. Peace yet again. So Casca is telling that all the music that is happening, please stop, because Caesar is speaking. Who is it in the press that calls on me? The word press over here means crowd. Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music cry, Caesar. So Caesar is saying, I can hear a tongue which is more shriller than the music. And who is this person who is calling out to me? Speak. Caesar is turned to hear. Now you can underline this and write over here that Caesar is turned to hear means because Caesar was actually deaf in one ear. So he turns himself so that he can hear more clearly. Soothsayer. Beware the Ides of March. Ides of March is 15th of March. Now in the Roman calendar, now first of all, Brutus, what man is that? And a soothsayer bids you to beware the Ides of March. What exactly is the Ides of March is what I want to explain to you. In the Roman calendar, each month was divided into 3 parts. They had the calends, then they had the nons, and then they had the Ides. The Ides fell on the 15th day of 4 months. So what we call as the Ides, they fell on the 15th day of 4 months, and these 4 months were March, May, July and October. So which were the 4 months when the Ides fell on the 15th? March, May, July, October. On the other days of the year, on the other months of the year, they fell on the 13th. But the Ides of March means on the 15th of March. Caesar, set him before me. Let me see his face. Fellow, come from the throng. Throng means crowd. Come from the throng and look upon Caesar. What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again. Soothsayer, beware the Ides of March. He is warning Caesar again and again that please beware the Ides of March. But Caesar pays no attention to him. He just says, oh, he's a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass. And trumpets sound and exeunt all except Brutus and Cassius. The meaning of trumpet sound is it indicates a ceremonial exit. Cassius, will you go to see the order of the course? Not I. I pray you do. I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder you, Cassius. Your desires, I'll leave you. So Brutus is saying, I am not gamesome, means I am not interested in any sports, and I do lack some of that active energy which is present in Antony. But however, Cassius, I don't want to stop you from going to see the course. So I'll leave you. You can continue. Cassius. Brutus, I do observe you now of late. Now of late means recently. I have been observing you recently, that I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. The spelling over here is W-O-N-T. So this wont word is a Shakespearean word, and this was used, it is not an apostrophe T wala. So it is not will not. I won't do it. No. It is won't. Won't over here means used. So he's saying, and so I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was used to having. So earlier your eyes used to show me a lot of love, which now you are not showing to me. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over a friend that loves you. So you have now become very rude, and you don't look that loving. That look of love is not present in your eyes. Brutus, be not deceived if I have veiled my look. So Brutus is telling Cassius, oh Cassius, please don't think like that. Do not get deceived if I have veiled my look. I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. So he's saying that look has come because I am just troubled with my own self. Vexed I am means troubled I am of late with passions of some difference. Passions of some difference means some conflicting emotions. So Brutus is telling Cassius that please don't think that way. It's not that I don't love you or anything. It is just that I have some conflicting emotions in my mind, because of which I have veiled my look. Conceptions only proper to myself, which gives some soil. Some soil is bad conduct. So which gives some bad conduct, perhaps to my behavior. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number Cassius be you one. So he's saying that let not my good friends be grieved. Cassius, I love you very much, and it's just that I have a lot of conflicting emotions in my own self. It's not for you. So among which number Cassius be you one, nor construe any further my neglect, than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men. So read the meaning of these three lines given to you next to your in your book. Don't think any further of my neglect of you. I am worried about my own problems, and so I forget to show my affection to other people. So I have my own problems because of which I am not able to show you the affection that I used to show you earlier. I hope we are clear till now. Okay, we continue. Cassius, then Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face? So now Cassius is beginning. Cassius has set himself a job that I am going to incite Brutus into conspiring with us so that we can assassinate or kill Caesar, because he knows that Brutus is very close to Caesar, and unless and until the conspirators are able to get Brutus on their side, they will be seen as murderers. But if Brutus is on their side, the people of Rome might not see them as murderers, because if you remember when I was talking to you about the Roman history, at that time, if you will remember, during Roman history I told you that the Roman Republic was set up by Julius Brutus, who was an ancestor of this Brutus. So he is saying he knows that if he gets Brutus on his side, then probably the conspirators will not be blamed. So he has started to incite Brutus, and he tells Brutus that I have mistaken your feelings, your passion. Passion means feelings, and but in my mind and in my breast means I have been thinking in my heart that there are certain deep thinking. Cogitations is deep thinking, deep reflections, deep meditation, and intense thought. I have many intense thoughts which I want to tell you. So then he says, tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face? So he's asking him a very simple question. Can you see your face? Now the obvious answer to this would be no. Nobody can see their own face unless there is a mirror in front of them, or nowadays there is a mobile in front of them. Otherwise you can't see your own face. So Brutus is saying, no, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by a reflection in some other things. So Brutus is saying, no, I cannot see my face, because an eye cannot see itself unless there is a reflecting surface in front of it. There has to be some reflecting surface. Earlier it was a glass, now it is mobile. Correct. So Cassius, it is just. So true. And it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eyes. So he's saying, Brutus, what you are saying is true, that the eye cannot see itself unless there is a mirror or a reflection in front of it. And I have to say, it is greatly lamented, means I have to say with great regret that Brutus, you do not have any such reflecting surface in front of your face which will tell you and which will actually show you what you are and what is your importance and how much you are respected by the people of Rome. So you don't have any such surface, and I really regret that. It is greatly lamented that Brutus does not have any such mirror which can show you your worthiness, how respected and how worthy you are. That you might see your shadow, I have heard. Means it's very easy to see your own shadow. When you're walking, you can see your shadow, but you cannot see your reflection. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome except immortal Caesar. So now he is telling Brutus that there are many people who are greatly respected in Rome, and they all speak of Brutus with great honor, and they have wished that the noble Brutus would have his eyes. And what are his eyes? A reflecting surface, a mirror. That is his eyes. Groaning under this age's yoke. That means we are groaning under the oppression of these times. Now what are these times? These times are when Caesar is going to become a king, when Caesar is going to get the crown and he is going to become a king. So they are saying that there are lots of people in Rome, there are lots of respected people in Rome who feel that Brutus does not have such a reflecting surface, and we are all getting oppressed under this age's yoke, means under the oppression of these times. Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself for that which is not me. So Brutus is saying, see, Cassius, what are the dangers that you are trying to lead me into? Something that I don't know about myself? Cassius, therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, means I am going to become your mirror. I am going to be your reflecting surface, and I am going to show you what your worthiness is. Will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know of. So he's saying, I am going to be your glass, I am going to be your reflecting surface, and I will in great earnestness, with all humbleness, with all modesty, I will show you your greatness which you yourself don't know or you are not aware of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus. Were I a common laughter, means if I was a subject of common joke, where everybody would take my name and start joking about me, or did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester, means if I am such a person who will start saying I swear at every common person. I don't do that all the time. I don't do it commonly. If you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard, and after scandal them. So if you have heard that when I see a person, I hug them, I'm very happy with them, and I praise them and everything, and once that person has gone, I start criticizing that person, I start scandalizing about them. If you think I am such a person, if you think that I'm a person banqueting to all the rout, means I'm a person who sits with all the mob and eats food and drinks and be merry, then hold me dangerous. So he's saying, do not hold me dangerous, Brutus, without a cause. So Cassius himself is giving 4 causes to Brutus as to how and why and when he would be held as a dangerous person. So the first cause he gives is, if I were a subject of common laughter, means if I were a subject of a joke, that is the first thing he says. Or if I am used to taking oaths at the drop of a hat, means I keep on taking oaths, I swear. Or if you think that I fawn on men, I hug men, I praise men when they are in front of me, and then behind them I start scandalizing, that means I start criticizing them, or I start talking bad about them behind their backs. Or if you think, or if you have seen that I eat with the common people, I drink with the common people, with the common mob, and I just profess myself as banqueting with all these, with the mob, only then you should hold me dangerous. Otherwise, Brutus, please do not hold me dangerous. Now he has said all this because Brutus has made a statement earlier, in what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? So he's asking Cassius that you're leading me into danger. So here Cassius has clarified that unless and until you find in my character these 4 things, please do not hold me dangerous. I hope we are clear so far, children. Okay. Flourish of trumpets and a shout off stage. That means there is a flourish of trumpets and there is a shout somewhere far. Off stage means, now remember, this is a play that is being enacted on a stage. So here we see Cassius and Brutus talking on the stage, which the public is seeing, which the mob is seeing. But there is a flourish of trumpets off stage, means where Caesar and his procession have gone. Children, when you're studying this play, please remember all the time that there is an Elizabethan stage in the background where this play is being performed. So, and it was not like the modern times, where you can do things very easily. There was no internet at that time and there was no AI at that time. So we are in those times at the moment when we are studying this play. So at that time, whatever happens on the stage is what the audience is watching. But what is happening off stage, the audience can only hear. So here there is a flourish of trumpets and a shout off stage. So I hope we are clear so far. And there are one or two things which I want you to mark. The speech of Cassius, it is very much lamented. Starting from there till I have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes. These are very important. This is a very important speech, because here Cassius has incited, he is inciting Brutus. Okay, so please mark that. And that's it. So I think we'll stop over here for the day. And if you have any problems, please do let me know. Signing off till then. Bye.